What is up, guys? Mad Rambles, episode 60 today. Nearly 2/3 of the way in to my 100 videos. So I get stuck right into it. Start with my keys to improve on. Coming up with an idea, enthusiasm, video professionalism, going into detail when talking about topics, a video plan, being more seated and less off-putting by my movements, adding a title, posting immediately after doing rather than waiting to try to show more urgency, looking more into the camera, rewatching my videos, planning out my videos, stopping the ers, and useless words, slowing down and talking in a less rushed way, articulating my points clearer. So, episode 60. Today's title will be Changing Your Mind. Within that, I'm going to talk about, are we married to our opinions? Isn't changing your mind a necessity? What happens if you stick and never change your mind? And my thoughts on what most people do. As always, these are my thoughts, these are my opinions. If you don't like them, fucking great. If you do, even better. Alright, so are we married to our opinions, right? I see constantly people feel almost offended when you change your opinion on something or change your mind on something, right? Providing you're not changing your mind 10 times over the space of 2 minutes, and providing you're not changing your mind in terms of, I say I'm gonna do this, and then you sort of like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. That you shouldn't change your mind on something. If you say you're gonna do something, fucking do it. But in terms of knowledge acquired, say through bodybuilding, diet, how to make more money, politics, whatever it is, it's almost like in society, if you want to have an opinion, no matter how long you live for the rest of your life, you have to have the exact same opinion to the day you die. And obviously that's just stupid. That's just stupid. And I feel like changing your mind is almost a necessity because it shows growth, right? If you have an opinion on something and never change your mind, it's probably not been challenged, right? The likelihood of it being challenged is very slim. And the likelihood of you doing research and investigating, trial and error, asking different people what's right and what's wrong, again, it's probably not going to be very good. Because if you're constantly stuck thinking the same things, living the same way of life, acting the same, eating the same things, how can you know for certain something else isn't better? Right? And the people that do that, and the people that constantly live the same life and have the mostly the same opinions have when they're 60 as when they're 20, tend to be people that have never investigated, never sought out knowledge, never tried to change their mind. Because I think it's inevitable. As you gain more information and more facts on whatever it is, you'll ultimately change your mind. Even if it's slim, even if it's a little bit, yeah, cool, the general consensus might be the same, but the little nitty-gritties, ins and outs might be very different. And that is done through seeking knowledge, constant seeking knowledge. And as you constantly seek the knowledge, you will change your mind. So, what happens if you stick? Well, if you stick, you probably have never learned anything. You've probably never grown. You've probably never evolved to the point where you can offer a valuable opinion and trial and tested, and not just listen to other people about various stuff, right? It's like fitness, for example, right? I see some people talking about, this one type of fitness diet was the best. It's the best because they read it and now they're doing it and they've done it for 4 years. What happens if it's not? And yeah, cool, it doesn't mean it might be the best, but how do you know it unless you've tried it? Because in like fitness, there was all sorts of things. This diet says it's amazing. This diet says it's amazing. This diet says the best. This diet's the best. And then our bodies are different anyway. So who the fuck knows? You can never tell whether or not something is the best until you do it and implement it yourself. But that is done through seeking knowledge. And as a result of that, you will change your mind. Like I said, maybe not great, but it might be minute. But you will change your mind. And I feel like most people are very ignorant, dogmatic, and just sort of stuck in their way. They hate changing their mind. They don't want to change their mind. They hate seeking anything that will change their mind. It almost becomes their identity, right? Their soul is attached to a political belief, right? It's like fucking like UK, Labour, Conservative, America, Democrat, Republican, right? It's like no matter what the Democrats do, I'm a vote Democrat. No matter what the Republicans do, I'm a vote Republican. Why? I don't care about a title. Why do you care about a title? If the Democrats are the best people, I'm going to vote Democrat. If Republicans are the best, I'm going to vote Republican. The idea that you're married to a title shows that you're not willing to challenge your beliefs and have an overall and valuable opinion. Because you're almost voting for a name, right? And instead of voting for what change may or may not occur. And that can only be done through challenging yourself, obtaining more knowledge, and as a result, changing your mind. And I think this sort of stigma of changing your mind in society can only lead to, of not being able to change your mind, can only lead to bad things, right? For instance, if someone said being vegan is the best, right? And you start being vegan, you try being vegan, you start building muscle, whatever, losing fat, whatever it is, and then 5 years later, someone comes out and said, actually no, being vegan is gonna kill you. Being carnivore is best, right? You've got to be carnivore. And then you're like sat there thinking, oh well, no, I can't change my mind, so you know what, I'm just gonna eat vegan for the next 5 years till I die because it's gonna kill me or whatever, or vice versa. And it's like, what? Your ego is so attached to that opinion that you're not willing to change your mind. I think if you generally have a consistent point of view or sort of harp on consistent things over a long period of time, we're talking 5, 10, 15, 20 years, then you probably aren't a trustworthy person because you probably haven't sought out the knowledge in order to become a trustworthy opinion because your opinion isn't valuable because it hasn't been tested. It hasn't been tried and tested and put to the sword, right? Because, and this goes on to another point, man. People are so afraid in today's society of debating. It's like no one fucking debates anymore. No one sat here really debating about genuine things. No one sat here on podcasts talking about fucking, talking about stuff. I saw a few weeks ago the RFK and Dr. Hertz or something, is it? Trying to get on the Joe Rogan podcast and the doctor wouldn't do it. Debate your shit, mate. If he says COVID was bullshit and the vaccines were rubbish, and you say it's not, fucking prove your point. And if you can't, then obviously you're not telling the truth. But you can only be seen as being telling the truth if you debate your point. Because RFK says X, Y, Z, you counter it and blah, 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 etc., etc. And it turns your point from fucking plastic to concrete. Alright? Indestructible concrete. And if you change your mind, okay. It's okay to change your mind. Most people think, oh, I can't change my mind because I can't ever be wrong. I've obtained knowledge and I can't be wrong. Bro, you can. You probably are. Accept it. Move on. Because the only way you're going to be better. Right? If you've done something for 10 years and you find out it's wrong, okay. At least you're not going to do it for another fucking 10 years. But that only comes by sort of putting your ego at bay and being able to acknowledge you can change your fucking mind on opinions. Because you're not always right. Anyway, it's been good, cool. I've been Keelan. Peace.